Good morning. I shared this on our live role-playing call this morning. We talked about buyers, agents, commissions, and how to explain them even when a client doesn't want to do them. So that's what we'll be going through at 12:30. But who here, has anyone hit yes in the chat? Have any of you ever heard of a Pomodoro timer? Bill, yes, now you have, right? So look, this is one of the best productivity hacks that I've ever come across. And, I'm always talking about committing to the activity over the outcome. And if you're outcome based, you have to be a project planner. So I'll give you a good example. In your calendar, you put, I'm going to call 10 clients and you set an hour up. Do any of you know how to have 6-minute conversations? No, that would require you saying, hey, Bill, I'm literally at a dentist appointment. I have 5 minutes till the doctor calls me. I thought of you. And I just want to say, how was your home this summer? I know it was your first summer. You had a lot of exciting experiences to have like that. That's a 5-minute conversation, right? And then controlling it. But committing to the activity versus the outcome, if you just set up the Pomodoro clock, right? And I'm going to show this all to you. It's literally a 25-minute clock. You can put the task in and you can add a task and you can put it in. And the cool thing about a Pomodoro clock is it's just hyper focused for 25 minutes at a time. You take a 5-minute break and then you go back to your next task. But as you're doing this, you're literally programming your brain to say, how much can I get done in this 25 minutes, right? And once this clock is going, it's kind of ticking down and you're working. And at the end, what you get out of it is what you get out of it. But this is such a great way to focus and get like real project work done, right? Even if it's role playing, right? So you can role play with ChatGPT. Like it doesn't really make a difference. So, I'm going to drop this link in here for any of you that want to look into this. And now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our featured presentation. So let me just share my deck. All right, can we all see my deck? Perfect. So today we're going to talk about communicating value to sellers, right? And I think this is a really important concept that we need just to drill down on to have an overall philosophy around client communication. So enhancing your sales technique to stand out in a competitive market. Just remember, the market, as a result of the NAR settlement, is going to get more competitive than it ever was before. You're going to see more and more agents dropping out, which is great because in theory, you're going to get more and more opportunities. But on the flip side of that, you are now going to have to compete against more effective clients, more effective competition. So let's go into the CCD framework. Clear, right? Is it clear what you're offering? Is it concise and specific what they get, right? And then the D, does the other person understand? Now, think about this. If you're sitting in this coaching program, is it clear what we offer? Is it concise and specific what you get? And do you understand that as a result of this program, I'm going to be able to do A, B, C, and D? CCD. And if it's not CCD, that's where confusion comes in. Then it becomes chaotic and overwhelming. And then it goes back to certainty. Let me just stay where I am. Or in many of our cases, it leads to the race to 1%, right? People just don't want to pay an actual commission of what you're worth. So how do you effectively build your value proposition? Remember one thing. Nothing in a luxury experience is left to chance. Like nothing. I'm so in on this whole client experience because in the end, no one's talking about it. It's what's most valuable to everyone in all of our other life experiences. And it doesn't exist in real estate. People either don't have it or have it and don't know how to communicate it. So the clients don't even understand how good that they have. So let's think about this. The first part is you need to write out your entire process, the before, the during, and the after. right? So we have a checklist that we'll attach to this session that has, I don't know, 90 different things that you all do, right? And one of the things that I want to bring to your attention is like another little ninja trick, right? If you're going through compensation and they're going back and forth with you, you can just simply ask them the question. I would say, Ashok, have you ever wondered exactly what a listing agent or a listing partner does in exchange for the compensation they receive? And what do you think they're going to say? No, because they have no idea what you do, correct? And you're going to say, hey, I'm going to share this list with you. And I apologize in advance because there are probably a lot of things that we do internally that probably don't necessarily make a difference or important to you. But take a moment to go through this and let me know what you think. And then they're going to go through and they're like, oh my God. And I would say, can we agree that if you think, can we agree that if some of these things you think were not done, they were left out, or an agent potentially didn't have the capabilities of doing it, you would get the same outcome? They're going to say no. But that's being really clear in your before, your during, and your after, right? Perceived value versus actualized value. Now, perceived value is what you feel you offer somebody, right? So I'm going to call on Christine. I only have 4 names on my screen, so you've been here a while, so you should be able to answer this well to the best of your abilities. So if I asked you what you offer as an agent, right, without getting through my, that's really important, I'm happy to share the few names, like internally inside of you, what do you feel your value is to give to a seller?
Do you mean just like as far as being organized, really walking them through the
Anything, right? Like in your mind, like I would say this, I'll use myself example, right? My perceived value as a business coach is that I actually was an agent for 14 years. I own my own company. I've trained other people. I've sat on MLS boards as vice president and treasurer for 30,000 people. I have over 17,000 hours coaching entrepreneurs. I have all these 6+ years exclusively coaching Compass agents. We have training on how to maximize all their technology and training into end-to-end systems, so that they can grow their business, right? We have training on the end-to-end process for buying and selling in a client experience that allow you to charge more commissions and get more referrals. And we have over 800 pieces or 1,000 pieces of content on our platform in the most robust, communicative, collaborative community for Compass in the industry. That is my perceived value, right? Like that's why I feel like somebody should hire me, right? And you also have multiple options every week to go to sessions.
Okay. So I would say my perceived value really is that, to use your term, I am a partner with them and I really walk them through every step, keeping them informed of everything that's going on, really listening to what they need and hearing, what their requirements are for their next home, and getting them to that next chapter in the timeline that they set forth for me.
Perfect. So now give you a confrontation here, right?
Yeah.
That sounds great, but to a client, that sounds like what everyone else is saying, right? So then it's like, how do I make it quantifiable? What is their actualized value? Like, what does that look like on a step-by-step basis, right?
So I guess that's where you'd come in with your communication plan, your marketing plan, with keeping everything, maybe getting together a Google folder with all of our documents in it that they can.
Yeah. So that is the value that you offer, right? What your value proposition is operationalized luxury. So the things you can use this statement, the things our clients enjoy about partnering with us the most is our approach to operationalized luxury. Pause. Everyone's going to say, what is operationalized luxury? You're going to say we've operationalized an end-to-end luxury experience for you from our initial conversation to closing and beyond. Right. So now let's go into the exercise portion, right? Your perceived value is what you feel you offer. The actualized value is what they're getting, right? Like that operationalized luxury, right? Like, so perceived value could be that I have an incredible marketing launch program. That's a 3-step program through private exclusive, coming soon, a mega open house MLS launch, right? That's perceived. Actualized is what they get, right? That you have calendars, you have a plan and everything else. How it's communicated is the words and the materials that you use. So let me ask you all this and answer in the chat. How many agents do you think will actually even A, take the time to think about it this way, or B, actually do this? 100, 200, 0? 0. Very few. Just us. 1%. Very few. I work with a lot of individually, a lot of the 1% agents. Unless I bring this to their attention, these are all like weird things that I think about late at night. Like when I'm in like the shower or I'm working out, like for whatever reason, this is what like I literally obsess about. It's like, how can I make a group of people stand out in a essentially industry where the service is more of the same and commoditized? Because if it's not highlighted as luxury and different, and it's not understood and thought through this way, they're always going to want to just pay you 1%. Because even 1% of $1 million for a job that you might do a month or 2 months, like still $10,000, right? For a $3 million house, it's $30,000. Where can you work potentially somewhere for a month and make $30,000? It's like a CEO salary, right? So this is how to make yourself stand out. Now, your clients' perspectives, right? I want all of you to follow this exercise. This is nothing new, but I have to keep saying it because I'm interested to see who's actually done this. Do you know the best way to find out what's most valuable about your service? Anybody? Just unmute yourself.
Ask our clients.
Ask them.
Yeah, ask the client.
Exactly. How many people, and hit yes in the chat, have clients that they've sold homes for, listings that have actually become their friends, where you could like pick up the phone, you know, shoot the breeze and everything else? Hit yes in the chat. All right, we're approaching 15%. Oh, there we go. Come on. Yeah, all right. So if you think about this, let your clients tell you what this is, right? Do you know what everyone loves? Giving their opinion. They love it. They absolutely love it. Do you all remember when I called hundreds of you last year and I asked you, what are you enjoying most about the program, and what's one thing we could do to make it better for you? And then magically this year, all of it happened, and we're still implementing those suggestions today. I don't need to figure this out. I need to ask all of you. And then you need to listen, not listen to engage or listen to take notes. We have a plot note for that now, right? So you can call, email, right? And ask them these questions, right? So if you call them, hey, it's Christine, or hey, it's Bill from Compass. How are you? I'm doing great. I need your help with something. Do you have time for a quick question? How many of your clients are going to say no? I'm always looking for ways to improve my client's experience. What specifically did you find most valuable that I did for you in our time working together? That's it, right? And then just say, you know, hindsight, if you want to add this, you can, right? And hindsight is 2020. You could say, you know, hindsight being 2020, is there anything else I could have done that would have made it a better experience for you? And let them tell you, and just say, thank you. This is incredibly helpful. And while I have you on the phone, is there anything else that I can help you with? That's it. Now, Bill, if I called you, and I did actually call and speak with you, right? And everyone's always like, Shrug, is this you? I always find that it's like the funniest thing, because I actually like picking up the phone and calling people. If I could find a way to load all of your phone numbers in an auto dialer, I would sit here like one full day a quarter and just call people all day. It'd be the best day of the whole quarter, right? Like, I love it. Like, I truly love it. And that's why for next year, our goal is to build out like the most robust event calendar. And now everyone on my team is going to kill me for doing this, but I don't think anybody's here, so I can do it. So I'm sorry, team, when you watch this recording. But next year, like, we're really excited to do our first like 2-day, right? Like, there's no cost to anybody to come, like, annual client event. The majority of you are here for the whole year. So we're going to start hosting like these crazy 2-day events every year just for our clients, because we know from talking to you, it's so valuable when you can get us together in person, right? And that we can do in-person stuff on implementing and bringing in experts and things like that. But that's coming directly from your feedback, right? So here's an email template. I very much, subject line, need your help. I very much appreciate the opportunity to work together. Want to know if you could share with me what part of working together you enjoyed the most. I'm going to update this slide to say, what part specifically did you enjoy the most? We're always looking for ways to improve our clients' experience. Thank you thank you in advance for taking the time to respond. And I look forward to hearing from you, right? And you could also add, if I can ever be of service to you, anything big or small, just know that you have a friend here happy to help. If you all did this, number one, is this a good way to reactivate your entire database going into the holidays? Everybody say yes, right? Like, and if I were you, I would reactivate my database with buyers and sellers doing this. And then I would plan a really thoughtful October, November, December marketing campaign with handwritten notes, client gifts if it's in your budget, maybe an appreciation event or something, so that when you go into next year, you have momentum of these people hearing from you. Remember, if you work your database correctly, 10% of the people will send you a referral. So if you want 20 deals, you just need 200 people, right? Like, your database should not be filled with, no one knows 20,000 people. Like, get all the junk out of your database. Now, what makes you unique, right? What your clients shared with you and what you feel is unique about working with you versus other agents. Like, especially in a buyer sense, right? The new question we have is, we've been doing open house trainings. I'd say, Cindy, are you only looking at properties? No, excuse me. That was the old one. Are you only looking at properties that are available to everyone else? Or do you like off-market opportunities? Another nicer way to phrase that question would be, have you ever considered the benefits or advantages for yourself and your family in having access or viewing off-market opportunities? And like, well, what are off-market opportunities? Well, how's it like? It just starts a whole different conversation, right? So that's something that makes all of us very unique as Compass agents. So remember, what makes somebody an expert? Knowing one more thing than the next person. Communication versus over communication, right? Avoid overwhelming clients with excessive information. Engage with a dialogue versus a monologue. Just remember this: when I'm selling my house, I'm excited about going somewhere. I'm probably overwhelmed by the process. I'm probably uncomfortable with all these people who are going to go to my house. And just remember, by the time you talk about staging, decluttering, and Compass Concierge, you're literally telling the people the way that they live is wrong. And like, they can get the most money, but their house now has to look like a hotel. Very different, right? Remember, talking is good, conversation is better, and asking and listening is best. Now the interactive part, sharing your value proposition. Words versus feelings. Who here has ever said this? I have your best interest at heart. I'm your advocate. Do you know who else has advocates? Children that can't represent themselves in court. I'm here for you. Do you know what all three of those things are? Drop it in the chat. Or unmute yourself, either or.
They're platitudes.
Okay, I'm a simple person. That word's too big for me. What's platitude?
It's basically saying things to make people feel good without meaning.
Okay. Well, I like that one. Ralph, thank you. The next time somebody's saying stuff, I'm going to say that's just a platitude.
If people say that,
They're
I know-
patronizing, they're condescending. Okay. Empty words. Miriam, what'd you say?
I get scared when people say that because that's what dishonest people say.
The who people? The silent, the
Dishonest.
dishonest people. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
just,
that's why they have to say that.
Well,
Pamela?
I think that they're words that a lot of people say, both good and bad, and therefore they're really hollow phrases. They don't really have much punch behind them, because actions speak louder than words. And these words don't really lend. Well, you have to do a lot of explaining, so they're not really the best words to use.
Pamela? Love that, Wendy.
I think I'm guilty of using some of this, but I also use it in the terminology that I'm partnering with you. So I'm always going to put your best interest first.
Here's a question. You married?
No,
Have you ever been married?
yes,
Okay. Let's go back to when the relationship was good, right? And your partner was your partner, right? Did they ever have to say any of these things to you, or through their actions you felt this way?
through their actions. I see where you're going. Yes.
These are the answer to the question was actually all the things you said were incredibly valuable, right? And they all lend to exactly why you should never say these words. They're not, these are feelings. Never forget me for this. Feelings are created through interactions and engagements. So by clearly, quantifiably that CCD, they're going to feel that you have their best interest at heart. They're going to feel that you're their advocate. And when you have a weekly written communication plan and they know that when they're going to hear from you, it's on the calendar, they're going to know you're here for them. Right? Every agent is guilty of these. It's like the 3 deadly sins of real estate. I have your best interest at heart. I'm your advocate and I'm here for you. Like, who has to say that? Like, imagine meeting a human that you're having a relationship with and they're like, you know what? I'm going to have your best interest at heart in this relationship. I'm always going to advocate for you. And I promise no matter what, I'm here for you. You're going to run. You're going to think they're like a sociopath. Right? Like, what am I not seeing here? If people say this to me, I get scared. Yeah. I'm like, you're selling, like, people that say this, I'm like, oh, you're just full of shit, right? Like, you're just trying to play to my emotions of like emotional safety and security, because someone who does these things never has to say them. I don't know about all of you, but this is just kind of how I'm feeling. This is one of my favorite sessions that we've done so far this year. Like, this to me is just great. It's like filled with aha moments and small actionable things that you can do that will have a bigger result. Look, like, my overwhelming desire is to have you treat your businesses like a business, right? So if you look at other brands or like cosmetic products or anything else, people do focus groups. Don't you realize how many focus groups you're all part of at Compass? And then they lean into what works. I was talking to the team about private exclusives and like, Shrag, this is what all the other agents said. And I'm like, this is great. But here's the thing. Every agent is sharing their business and their context to their specific market, to their market segment. You need to start thinking about how this works across all of these people. And there's only 4 different types of markets, right? There's non-MLS metro markets like New York City, Brooklyn, Queens, right? Then there is metro markets like San Francisco, Boston, all those larger metro cities, suburban markets, and second home markets. Those are the 4 different kinds of markets you have. So stuff has to work in all of those, right? So, but wait, there's more. So look, when you're sharing your value proposition, remember, you have your collections for comps. That's your interactive way of sharing the market in real time. Your marketing calendar, which is your launch strategy. a written communication plan that gives people the exact information they want, the time frame that's best for them, and samples of your marketing, showing people how you're going to tell the visual story of their home so it aligns with what their expectations are. So in the end, stop telling clients what you do and start showing how it benefits them. Shawanda had a great point. Those are words used in buyers and sellers agreements. Who here got something new today? Right, like something they could like actually do. Firuze, did you get nothing new today? I'm watching you too.
Yes, no, I think, Shrak, that when we were speaking about the value proposition, I think that if it also, I'm sorry, I'm having some renovation in the kitchen, so there's some noise.
We don't hear
background.
anything.
That it also depends on the relationship. So if you know the person and you have previous relationships with them, I think that if you remind them that that you are their advocate, I think, or you have their best interests at heart, I don't think that I think that actually is not a bad reminder. But if you say it to someone who you don't know, yes, I agree. But I think if you have past relationships, maybe it's different. I'm just thinking about that.
So here's what I'm gonna recommend to all of you. And it's my weird intuition, I guess I called on you because this is the perfect statement to wrap this all together. Whether they're the first-time client, a second-time client, your friend, your family member, follow the same process, right? Show them, don't tell them. If they've already had a great experience with you, do the same experience again because you know that's what they liked, right? If I go to a restaurant where I know the owners really well, they're not going to do anything different. They're actually going to do a bunch of extra things, right? That I don't even know are coming, right? And so I'm like, don't ever say to me, Shrug, just because you're such a good client, you're my friend, here, let me give you these things. Like they just say, no, here, I just want to give you, they'll have somebody send like an order of drinks over, or they'll comp it on the thing, or the waitress will say, the manager just wanted me to give these to you, and say, just says, appreciate your business, right? So just remember, those are all feelings, right? And feelings are created through interactions and engagements, right? So keep doing the things. So there's a quote I saw online this morning. It's, they say the grass is always greener on the other side. They say the grass is greener when you water it. Like the grass is green when you water it. And it's the same thing with our clients, right? Like watering a relationship in this context is doing the same thing you did before when they're net new, right? You don't like the cable company model is like, hey, let me give you everything when you're a new client. But now when you stay here, we're going to raise your price. We're going to offer it. Like it's not great, right? So that's part of, even look, I always share this with you guys very transparently, and people think I'm crazy, but that's our viewpoint in all of you, right? So it's like, yeah, of course you join our program and like there's certain bonuses and things you get and you guys have got them. But like for us, it's like watering the grass means like how many different events and like specialty courses like AI, what different things can we bring in terms of community collaboration that we can do so people continue to feel that we're their partners or their advocates, that we care. Like those are all things that will happen as a result of actions, right? So when you keep watering these relationships, like, look, it's going to get to October. You will, all of you, the majority of you, right? If you signed up and made an investment in this program, I'm going to call you, right? And so myself or Mike, someone on our team will reach out to you and have a conversation, because it's the most valuable thing is to understand how you guys think, how you guys feel, what we did that hit the mark and what fell short of the mark, and what we can ultimately do that's better, right? And stick to what's working. You don't always have to invent new. And believe me, your clients, as agents, no one calls their clients and says this, right? So if they're sitting down having dinner, coffee, or a conversation with a colleague about their agent, be like, I haven't heard from my agent, right? Because that's what people always say. They only call when they want something. And they're like, that's weird. I got a call from Firuze the other day, and the only thing she asked was like, what we enjoyed the most, how we could have made it better, and like, if there's anything else she could support us with. And I'm like, wait a second. She's doing that after she sold you a house. I'm selling a house or I'm buying a house. And I don't have great communication. And now where do you think that person is going to want to go? To you. So create the conversation that you want people to have when you're not there. So as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. Come at 12:30. Wait, we have one more question. I'm meeting clients this afternoon. Mr. Seller was unhappy with the end price he received. He blamed me, though he entered the market later than I advised. He initiated the desire to have coffee with me while back in town, and I have to ask what he liked best about. No. Where's Kat? Unmute yourself. Is she still here? Well, this is good for everybody. Number one, that, right? Cause, effect. The effect of that is not doing the you control, I control, no one controls. Can either one of us control?
I'm here,
Oh, there you go.
Rob.
Can
Hi,
either one of us control the prices your neighbors will accept for their homes? No. Can either one of us control the prices buyers are willing to pay for their homes? No. Right? So as soon as you start defending this, then you become the owner of it. So
so don't bring it up at all, just enjoy the coffee. He is initiating and told me I kept him calm. And I still keep him calm while he's struggling with living in a new area. He told me I'm like a therapist now, and he
yeah,
enjoys
no,
that
I would
relationship.
still have it. Of course, you want to acknowledge it, just like buyer's agents commission. You want to eat the frog, as they say, first, and just say, like, I understand you're frustrated, but like, can we just align around two simple concepts? He's going to say, can either you or I control the prices your neighbors are willing to accept for their homes? No. And say, can either one of us control the prices buyers are willing to pay for their homes? No. So like, I want to make sure when you put your head down, like you don't have regret in this, like, as long as we both feel that we did everything we could about marketing and positioning your home, you got the best that you were going to get, and you have to feel good about that because these things are completely out of our control.
He may not even bring up that past experience because he told me he might be moving back and he'll be calling me.
Exactly. Well, if he brings it up, right? Did he blame this for you recently or in the past?
Back in April.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he closed in June. He went on a month later. Then two neighbors on his street closed with offers 100,000 more than him, and he couldn't understand why it didn't happen for him, though he went on the market a month later.
Was his house in different condition?
His house was pristine. It was missing one bedroom.
What's that?
His house was pristine, but it was not a 4-bedroom.
Oh, well, there you go. Right. So
100,000 though, that was a tough pill for him to swallow.
So look, this is why it's important to follow the process, right? If you go through the you control, I control, no one controls, and positioning versus pricing, this is a mute issue because in somebody's head, this makes sense.
I wish I had that when I first met them. That would have been really powerful.
Well, now you're here today and you have it for going forward. So
Yeah, no, that's
look,
great.
everyone join us at 12:30 for live role playing. Commit to yourself, show up, right? And as always, love in my heart, I love you all. I've been sharing this message with everyone. What we found really effective is we have clients signing up for a free coaching month. It's a great way to see what we're talking about in action. But the thing that they're doing really strategically is they're finding other people in other markets, like to build referral networks and saying, hey, let's go through the coaching together. I coach with Shrug, right? Having a personal relationship with the coach, which I do with all of you, sets you one step apart from everyone else. And they're setting up follow-up accountability and implementation sessions, right? And so it's a way for you all to add value to people that you don't know, and a way to potentially build a better brand with other agents and set yourself up as an expert. So Robert has an email that went out today. So the link and information for our program's easy. Sign up. It will be a great experience. And you'll be even more excited about having more information and more access to all these different resources. So I'll see you all at 12:30, and thank you all for being present today. And by the way, we've made an upgrade now, and all of the sessions will be on by the end of the day. And we're trying to get them on like eventually within an hour or less of them being finished. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Bye, everybody.